What up, everybody? Jesse Feinberg here with Black's Magic Group. Welcome to the Cigapen DVD. Thank you so much for purchasing it. This is my first effect I ever came up with. I think you're going to love it and use it all the time. There are not a lot of cigarette tricks out on the market, so it's something special, and it's also special because you can promote non-smoking with it. So if you have an anti-smoking routine that you might want to do, this is perfect. Let's get into the performance, and then I'll show you guys how to make it. Alright guys, this is what cigapen looks like. Alright guys, so you just saw the performance for cigapen. I want to show you what we need to build the gaff. Very simple. All we need is a Bic pen. This is a Bic round stick pen. They come in different sizes, but this is a medium. They have fine tip. Doesn't matter. Bic round stick. We need this cap. We need the white barrel. So if you don't have these, for instance, in the UK, I know they have the yellow Bic pens normally. They kind of look like a pencil. Order these online. It's Bic round stick is the brand, okay? So we need a pen, we need a razor blade. You can use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife, something sharp, something that's sturdy and safe to hold. So razor blade, you need some scissors, any size, some sharp scissors. Double stick tape, magician's best friend. You can also use like a spray adhesive or maybe crazy glue. But this is the easiest, and it's definitely forgiving. You know, you can readjust, all that. And we also need a cigarette, okay? If you don't have, if you're like under 18, get your parents' permission. You only need one cigarette, and you actually only need the filter of it. So you could even have your mom or dad rip that cigarette off and just give you the filter. It's fine, that's all we need. If you can't get a cigarette, you can also look online for just this image and print it out. Color print, we need this orange filter. Okay, so you find this on brands like Winston, Marlboro Mediums, Marlboro Reds, Camels. So if you are a smoker, definitely match the type of brand cigarettes that you normally use, because you're going to be pulling this cigarette right out of the pack and performing the effect. Okay, so one cigarette, and that is it. Grab a lighter. I'll show you guys like an alternate handling that I like to do with the lighter. So if you have a lighter, cool. Let's get into how to make the gaff. Cool, so we just saw all the materials that we need to make the gaff. Now I want to go over what we need to do with all the materials to put everything together. Let me first show you what I'm using here. Some of you guys have no clue what's going on, most of you hopefully. What we're using is a pen, and on the other side we have a little filter. It's a little filter sticker there, and this looks like tobacco. So when you hold the cigarette, well, when you hold the pen, it looks like a cigarette from here up. All you need to do is reveal the whole pen and rotate 180, and now you have a pen. So it's basically half a pen and half a cigarette. All right. I'll go into detail on the table and really show you guys up close what it looks like. First thing that we need to do is take that Bic round stick pen. It's got to have the white barrel because we're pretending that this part is a pen. We're pretending that this part is a cigarette, and then the other side's a pen. First thing we need to do is scrape the text off of the pen. It'll say something like Bic round stick. So we need to get a razor blade. I use a box cutter usually. You can use an X-Acto knife, anything sharp that you're going to be able to get a nice grip on and scrape this ink off. And it's kind of in there too. They almost like kind of melt it in and fill it in with ink, so you might have to scrape a few times down there. I just start on one side and work all my way down to the end of the pen. Be very careful always cut away from yourself. My roommates used to love me doing this at night, making pens, making all this weird noise, but it's worth it. And what's happening here is not only am I scraping off this text and making a blank pen for myself, but I'm also creating these little grooves in the pen, because I guess the razor is kind of jumping as it's cutting, and so you have these little grooves, and the grooves look exactly like the cigarette paper. It's got those little lines in the cigarette paper. I think it's actually gunpowder that goes in circles all the way down, so when you're smoking, it burns evenly. So this scraping on the pen just leaves that perfect kind of mark. It looks exactly like a cigarette. Next thing we need to do is cut off the end of the pen. It's this like plug end here, okay? And I'll just use like a nice solid surface. Don't ruin a table because you might cut through. Okay, so any solid surface like this, like a packaging or anything like that. And you don't have to cut all the way through either. You just kind of want to cut into that plug with the razor, and then just rotate around, spin the pen around so you make it through that white plastic, and so you're left with this little plug guy here, and you can just discard with that. And you have this hollowed out pen, okay? Next thing we need to do is just take your razor, move that out of the way for you guys, and we're gonna use this razor to just kind of trim away this thick border. You can see it's a little thick there. This is what's going to fake the end of a cigarette, all right? And you can compare with a cigarette what it looks like. I'm just going to trim a little bit away. If you had a really thin X-Acto knife, you can really get in there. That's it. You don't have to worry about the plastic yet. We can clean it up after we're done with everything. Next thing to do is get your hot glue gun, okay? And all you need to do basically is just apply a little bit of glue to the inside, just a squirt of glue. And then you're going to use your cigarette you just want to grab a little tobacco out, a little pile of tobacco, and you want to just jam all that tobacco into that glue. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a fake end of your pen with the tobacco. They're going to see that tobacco in. I'll show you what it looks like on the finished product here. Nothing fancy, but it's just an extra little convincer that they might see. And it really does look like a cigarette when you're holding it like that. All right, so we got the tobacco in there. We've scraped the pen. Now we want to add this little filter guy here. And it's only half of a filter because it needs to only wrap around half of a pen. So 180 there. So what we're going to do is take I'm going to clean this away. We're going to take our cigarette, just the filter end. All right. This one is a Winston. And so if this is your brand of choice, you're going to want to keep where that little text is there. All right. And it'll just perfectly match your pack of cigarettes that you use. First we want to bust this open. We want to push that cotton piece out. All right. Remove all that cotton. And then we want to take the scissors and just cut the back open. All right, so keep that text on the cigarette there. We're going to use that portion of it. And it's kind of a guessing game here, how big of a piece you're going to need to wrap around the pen. You could measure it out later so you know in the future, but no big deal. We're just going to trim one side so it's got a nice straight line. We're going to trim off the extra paper that's here. Here, I can go even a little further because the white pen is this part. We just want that text. And then here I'm just going to cut right about there. And just check it out, see what you got, what you're working with here. You just want to see the filter on this side and not on this side. And it's a little bit too big, so I'm just going to trim. First, make sure the sides are nice and straight. Okay. And then what we want to use is that double-sided tape, and we're going to use that to stick it onto the pen. So get a little double-sided tape. I even want to do this before because then it'll save you less time with the trimming, but no problem. Just going to stick that on. This will take all about 5 minutes to make, not even. It's very easy. And then just trim that extra tape off. And we'll use the double-sided tape to stick to the pen. You can use glue if you want. I like double-sided tape because if you put it down wrong, you can reposition it very easily. And we want to look at what a cigarette looks like next to the pen. And then just put that filter down in the same spot. All right, so you got this guy going down right about here. And it's usually always where the end of that pen clip is, right about there. So if you don't feel like measuring it out, just put it right after the pen clip. Stick that down. It's looking like a cigarette now. Look at that. Make sure the edges go down. Okay. And on one side we got a cigarette, on the other side we have a pen. If there's any extra edges sticking out, just peel it off and trim just a little bit. That's it. All right, so we got the cigarette, we got the scraped pen area, we got some tobacco in the end. If you don't have any tobacco, you could just color it in with a black marker, very easy. Now I want to go over the handling with you guys and how to hold this and how to present it to your audience. All right, so we just went over how to put all the materials together, making the gaff. I want to show you guys just some simple setups here, very simple. I mean, literally you just walk up to them holding this. What you're doing is you're hiding the cap portion of the pen. Another great setup that I like to do is I take a cigarette pack, and this should match the brand of cigarette that you use. Parliaments, for instance, have a white filter, which is actually a good example for you. Don't use these because they're just going to think you're holding half of a pen. There's no filter there, so it doesn't really help. But for demonstration purpose, what you want to do is take your made cigapen, put it into the pack like that, and then just throw that in your pocket or in like your hoodie or jacket pocket. When you go into your pocket to pull it out, you just want to get the grip, which I'll show you, and then pull the cigarette out. The grip is really easy. It just goes, I'll show you on the table. The grip that I use is basically under the thumb. I'm hiding the cap. When you walk up to the spectator, they're going to be, you want to kind of point the cigarette at them, okay? If they do catch an angle, like here you can see, I'm wearing a black shirt, which is perfect. The black cap kind of hides anything that they might see there. This white area definitely stands out. You don't want to show them underneath because there's no filter there. So you might want to do some sort of a paddle move where you show here and there's a cigarette filter. And then when you come down, you just do a little 180 paddle move there and you're showing this filter on the top. Okay, the paddle move is just you're showing one half and then with your thumb in the back, you're rotating the pen to the other way. So when you show down, you're showing them the same exact side. So you got a filter, you got a filter. All right, very easy. That's really it for the handling. The only other thing is if you borrow a cigarette, you want to make sure that their cigarette you're borrowing has an orange filter that matches this, an orange-brown style filter. And you want to just kind of keep this hand down at your side. You borrow the cigarette, and I'll show you guys a really simple cigarette vanish for this, but you're going to take the cigarette from them and you're going to bring it up and then just show them this. Let's get into the handling so I can go over all the specifics for you, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so the handling is very simple. I just wanted to go over just a couple of little setups with you in that last section. The handling for the first thing that I showed you on the DVD was I just held it here. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just hiding the cap. I got my fingers up at the bottom of the filter. Okay. The first thing that you want to do with cigapen before you even take it out of your pocket to perform is you want to just make sure that the pen's clip, and I'll show you on the table, the pen's clip lines up perfectly with the filter. You use that as a guide. So the guide, you know that that's 180 and the clip is on the right here. And if you spin the pen in your fingers, you know that that's the other side because the clip is on the left. Okay, so this is a 180 and a 180, and you can feel it, so you don't even need to look at it. You got the filter there, you got the pen side, you got the filter, pen, and you can literally feel it snapping back and forth, back and forth. All right, so the easiest way to hold this is obviously like this, just up in the air. You show it to them, and you just want to rotate the pen and also reveal what you're hiding. Okay, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can use your other hand to come in and grab it, boom, and just give it a little shake. And always a bigger action covers a little action, okay? So if you shake it like that in the air, you just want to basically turn your hand. It's very easy. This is one that I use like if you walk up to a table. Hey guys, anybody smoke cigarettes here? Oh, neither do I, yeah. Here, let me show you something with a pen, you know? And what I like to do there is I'm taking the cap off and I'm just kind of showing the cigarette has vanished completely, my hands are empty, and it's a functioning pen, okay? And it is a functioning pen, this is a real pen. Let me show you what I do in my hands. I'll show you on the table. What I'm doing is I'm hiding the clip underneath my thumb. And basically, you know, you just gotta you wanna put your hand out flat like this first. I usually put the pen right there, just laying in between those two fingers. And then your thumb comes up and grabs it. If your hands are too small for this kind of grip, you can go with the first one. And here's another alternate. Clipping it in between your fingers. And you're hiding this pen underneath your fingers here. So on the table it looks really cool. Up here you guys can see the exposed view of the pen just kind of going behind. Let me go over the one with behind my thumb, which is the one that I use the most. And this is the way I came up with it. I built this first and I was like, this is really cool. This looks like a cigarette, this looks like a pen. This is the first way I grabbed it like this. And my favorite way to change it is I just push the pen to the left, like 45 degrees, and I rotate down. And you can feel that clip on your middle finger or wherever you're holding it. So you're basically gripping that clip on the left between your thumb and first finger. This hand is shown empty and it comes up. I'll show you guys from the front. I'm pushing like this and then I'm just rotating it. And I'll give you that exposed view on the table. Again, I'm pushing it. And you're covering that filter, so now you have all the time in the world to rotate it and your hand just kind of comes back the same direction. You can show this hand empty. You can take that cap off like that. Okay. To do the other one, it's more of a flashy kind of thing. You're clipping it in between your fingers, and you might want to jog this clip down as far as it goes, but keeping it on the pen. And so you can basically show them as much of the filter as possible. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do that bigger action, covers a smaller action. You're going to shake in the air, and at the same time that you shake, you want to just kind of come up with your thumb, grab that pen between your first finger and your thumb, and then move these fingers out of the way and underneath. So you're going this, this, and then rotating it, all in kind of one move. Show you what it looks like in full speed. Boom, that's it. And you can slide your fingers down to the end of the pen. The paddle move is when you show one side of the pen and then you show the other side, but it's actually the same side. What you're doing is you have your thumb in the back and your first and second finger in front, and when you rotate the pen 180, you're also bringing it up to apparently show the other side, so it looks like regular white pen. Not totally necessary. Some magicians have said you don't need to show on the other side. It's already convincing enough that it's changed into a cigarette. I like to do that in my routine. Sometimes it just feels more natural to show both sides, and then I take the cap off. But play around with it, do it in the mirror, do it in front of your webcam, and just see what it looks like for your spectators that are standing in front of you. Really convincing. Now, when you borrow a cigarette, okay, you're going to borrow a cigarette that obviously matches your cigapen. It doesn't have to be the same brand, it just needs to have that orange, brownish type of filter. Okay, so Marlboro Mediums, Marlboro Reds, Winston's, this is a Winston, whatever brand. And if you know a bunch of smokers, if you're doing it in a bar or at a party or something where there are smokers, find the smoker that is using a cigarette that has this orange brown style filter. Okay, walk up to them, hey, can I borrow a cigarette from you for a second? I'll give it right back. And this hand is ready to go with whatever grip you like the most. I use the one with the thumb. So I have the filter lined up on the thumb, ready to go. And this is just down on my side. And I just kind of let the pen kind of go behind my leg. So there's nothing going on over there. I use this hand to grab a cigarette, and we're going to do a cigarette vanish. And you want to find where the most comfortable spot is. Mine is just above the filter. And you're going to make a fist, and then your thumb is going to grab that cigarette filter, and your hand's going to come back out like this. Okay, so very easy. You just want to pinch between, like people smoke with the two fingers. You're going to now make a fist, and then grab it, and then come back out. Let me show you guys what it looks like while I'm standing. This cigarette is off to your side like this. You borrow a cigarette. When you come up, you just want to kind of go like that. It's something quick that you do offbeat. You're just switching hands. See, when I do it fast, it looks pretty good. But there's a little discrepancy. You don't need to put it directly in. You might actually have two out at the same time. It's okay. You just want to make sure that you're vanishing it when this hand's in its natural position here. And I have a cigarette here now. Okay, so I'll do it slow motion. We're just going to come up like that, and just touch it. Looks like you put it in your hand. Cigarette. Oh, thank you, sir. Here we go. Take a look, everybody. You just touch it. It looks like you put it in there. Now you can do that wave piece here. I have the cigarette in my thumb. I'm going to push, and it turns into a pen. And then what I like to do, I got this perfectly ready to go. I can take the cap off and dump a cigarette out of the cap. Looks like something weird happened there. The cigarette turned into a pen. Where'd the cigarette go? It's in this tiny little cap. So that's just one idea for handling. Play around with it. It's a lot of fun to do if you're borrowing a cigarette, because they really do think, and I've done this with a lit cigarette, you guys. It's kind of crazy. With a lit cigarette, people don't even look at the cigapen and think, oh, where's the little hot area there? It doesn't matter. You're just taking a cigarette, they see the filter, boom, it turns into a pen, cap, and the cigarette falls out. So that's a fun little routine to do with it. Very quick, very visual. But again, just doing the cigarette, boom, to a pen. They're like, huh? Where'd the cigarette go? Check your sleeves. You're holding the pen. It's no problem. You got nothing to hide except for this backside. So you always want to watch your angles. If somebody's behind you and you're holding it like this, they're going to see like a cigarette half pen thingy, and they're going to be like, what the hell's going on here? So watch these people back here. Keep people in front of you. And when you're holding it like this, make sure that the cap is not being shown to them in any way, any angles. You want to keep it straight at them like that. Okay? And that is the handling for cigapen. All right, so now you guys are totally clued in how cigapen works, how we make it. I know you guys are wondering now, what the hell was he doing with that crayon? And you know what it is? It's the same exact thing, but it's a half a crayon. Let me show you what it is. Different pen. We use a crayon here. Whoop, pen on this side. Okay, you just want to, again, you want to just hide that little area. Turns into a pen. This is how you make it. Take a look on the table. All I'm doing is take a Sharpie. This is a black Sharpie, but you want to use whatever color crayon you're going to use. Okay, so first you want to peel the crayon wrapper off. Very easy, they come right off. Then you want to cut it to size, just like you cut the filter to size. And always cut it larger than you think. Lay it down, take a look at it. If you want to use the double-sided tape to actually lay it down, you can see what edges you're working with here. And you want to have it so that none of this sticks over on this side, okay? And crayons are a little fuzzy too. They have that like sort of funny paper that they use. So every time I perform it, I always just kind of run my fingers down it. Okay, so don't worry about that so much. Just worry about the actual paper sticking out too much over the edge. So first you want to just cut that little crayon piece out so it fits over. Put the double-sided tape down, stick it down. This side is just my Sharpie, like I said. I used, for this one, an orange colored Sharpie. And you just want to color in half of the pen, same size as your crayon piece. And then, so that the Sharpie doesn't rub off, you just use a little bit of regular Scotch tape, and you can cut it to size. Sometimes I even do the Sharpie before. It takes a little more time because you have to line it up, then you have to take it away, and you got to color in both of these ends with the colored Sharpie, and then you put a little piece of tape over it. Then you lay the crayon half down, the crayon shell piece, with the double-sided tape. And then with an X-Acto knife, you just trim off any edges, all right? So this is exactly what we're working with. We got the Sharpie colored in there, a little bit of regular Scotch tape, or if you have like a packing tape, like a nice shiny tape, because we're trying to pretend that this is a wax, that wax crayon area there. Do the other side, lay this guy down. And if you do have any overlay, you can use an X-Acto to cut. Don't cut too hard into the pen, but just trim away any extra. And what you're left with is a half of a crayon, which is a fake crayon there, and then the rest is a pen. And for this one, I left this text on. I thought it was kind of a cool addition because they're seeing the crayon logo there, and then they're seeing the Bic pen logo. So it's kind of cool. It's more visual. The best thing to do is to get a Bic pen that's the same color as the crayon. So if you have a blue crayon, you wave it in the air, it turns into a blue Bic pen. And then that makes a lot of sense for routining. You can say, hey, do you guys use crayons anymore? Oh no, I was using them when I was a kid. I don't draw with crayons anymore. Boom, turns into a pen. I use a pen to write, whatever you want to do for your handling. But it's really cool when you have the crayon match the color of the pen, because it looks like you've gone from like kindergarten to college, or whatever you want to do. So that's what it is, just very simple, fake crayon, half a crayon, and the other side is obviously a pen. And you can really take this further and go to the store and see what kind of stuff would look like the same size as a pen. One thing in particular would be like a pack of those Smartie candies. They come in the plastic wrap, and they have all the little individual candy pieces and different colors that go down. What you could do is go online and maybe find a picture of a pack of Smarties, or make it in Photoshop where you're just making little blocks of color that go down. And then you could even put a piece of plastic that just covers half of the pen, just like half of this crayon here. And then you have a candy, turns into a pen. So run with it. Maybe a rolled up dollar bill, turns into a pen. Whatever looks like a pen when it's rolled up or in its natural state. So have fun with that. That's the bonus effect for cigapen. Cool, so we just went over the bonus effect for cigapen. I know you guys were wondering what was going on with that crayon to pen. And I know you guys now know how to build everything. Go back and watch the making the gaff for the cigapen portion. Goes over a lot of small little details that you can use to do like I said, a rolled up dollar, crayon, Smarties. So if there's another candy package that's similar to the size of a pen or cigarette. And I just want to thank you guys so much for purchasing cigapen. This is my first trick I ever came up with. I was maybe like 13, 14 years old when I came up with it, and It was just my first thing I ever put out on market. This is the first time I've ever explained how to do it on a DVD. So this is something really special and something that you guys can learn really easily, obviously, just watching the DVD. And the only other thing I want to make sure that you guys do is go to blacksmagicgroup.com. We have an excellent forum there for all you magicians. You can talk to me, you can talk to Chris Brown, you can talk to Jordan Johnson, James, anybody else that's on that forum. We're all there for support. We're all there to chat about magic and anything else. It's a lot of fun, and it's real magicians, and it's real conversation there, all right? And of course, we have a crazy list of effects there. You got Jordan Johnson's Holy Grail, which is the best torn and restored card effect on the market. He also just put out an effect called Inked. It's a card revealed as a tattoo inside of your mouth. It's crazy. You guys will never guess how it works. And of course, if you look when you go to the website, bottom left-hand side, we have a whole list of all of our other effects. Card to wallet. List goes on and on and on. Prohibition, you guys all know about Prohibition. If you don't know about Prohibition, run out and get it. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You're just going to have to find out for yourself. Thank you so much. Check out my other effects. They're all very similar as far as visual, easy to perform, easy to create. And I'll see you guys there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is James Clark here from Black's Magic and Street Magic Magazine. We are about 15 minutes down the street from Shibuya, one of the modern cultural centers of Tokyo, Japan. If you've been here, you've seen the place. If not, you've seen it in movies such as Lost in Translation. It's where all the crowds converge at the train station, man. They're waiting at the lights and you just see them slamming. There's a ton of people there. But we're at this awesome Japanese temple right now to talk really quickly about the Black's Magic card-to-wallet wallet. I know it's a bit redundant, but this wallet isn't. You've seen the old wallets. It's the leather ones look like your grandfather carried, but this is a modern approach, man. Check it out. We've got distressed black leather, 2 stamps, got a detachable chain to help keep your stuff safe. Open it up, it's just like any other modern wallet. It's got an ID holder, a place for your credit cards, business cards, your money, whatever you want. But this is where the real magic happens right here, guys. It's the zipper pouch that allows you to pull the card out and absolutely slam your audience. This is what we want you to do. Check us out online, check out the wallet. Once you get it, go out and perform and represent modern magic as it should be.
My songs make kids wanna slit their wrists, and now a lot of critics and parents is all mad at this. Like appearances, take caution, you with your dreams reach. Speech about abilities, must go to the streets. A lot of criminals and kill police. Stay the key, set the middle free. Better investigate, get the mistakes, to the dreams reach. I've been doing the whole show, so on the stage, don't do the slow-mo, cause you wouldn't know dope. Even the soul code to try to steal it, this is so cold. Folks know better than trying this. I put you in the chokehold.
So we're here at this cool temple. We're going to talk a little bit about the new Black's Magic wallet.
What are we here for?
Here because I can't. My line's right. Hey Chris, you want to see something?
I would like to see something.
Excellent. Got a deck of cards here. Regular deck of cards, you agree? Don't really got to say that, but for the sake of this demo, it's a regular deck of cards. There's no duplicate cards. They're all different. So go ahead and pick a card. Doesn't matter which one, whatever you want. You want to change your mind? Are you good with that? You good with that one? Okay, let me turn around. Take a look at it. Show it to the camera. Camera, you got it. You guys out there in internet cyberspace are part of this effect. Check it out. We can let him put it anywhere in the deck. Do sign it that way. Magicians really freak out about that because if you don't sign the card, it could possibly be the same trick. You got it? Doesn't matter, I've seen it now, so we're good to go. I'm blowing up so it doesn't stain me. Good to go. Okay, anywhere in the deck you like. You got it. Tell you what, this can be done any way you want. Doesn't matter, you can have whatever pattern you want. You're basically going to do something like this. You're going to take the deck, back in your wallet and got a nice wallet. Pick this up at Target. Really? No. This is Black's Magic wallet. I don't know if you've seen it. Just like that. Do me a favor, Chris. Open up that zipper pouch right there. All the way open. Excellent. Now let's look inside here. Do you see anything in there?
I see a card.
Can you pull that card out? Excellent. You got it? You got it? Pretty fair, wouldn't you agree? Go ahead and take a look at that card. Look at that. A signed Chris Brown card. Black's Magic card to wallet. Pick it up today. Buy it. Oh shit. God damn.